in a hobby as big and broad as ours, there's a lot of cool, interesting, fun, shiny, exciting things to buy. For the most part, we end up buying more and more models just to add to his pile of shame. Now, when we do get around to building some of those models, there's times, obviously, we've got to use tools such as hobby knives, saws, milliput rollers, and other things, and the humble pin vise. Those tiny little drills that we use to mostly, if you do the hobby right, I'm really not trying to trigger anybody here, but you really do need to drill your barrels. You just do. Pin vices are absolutely great for a multitude of things, adding some extra stiffness on old-style metal or resin models, through to, well, drilling barrels. In this video, I'm going to talk about a newer alternative to the humble pin vise. Hi everybody, I'm Wayne, this is Forge of Solace. Like I said, in this video, I want to talk about an alternative to the old-fashioned pin vise. Now, currently, I'm using a mixture of a couple of different pin vices. One of them, my dad bought me 20-odd years ago. No, in fact, 30-odd years ago now. And then, more recently, I got gifted one from a friend as a birthday present. I was chatting to a friend online a few months back, and they mentioned the Wow Stick. First thing I mentioned is this isn't sponsored at all by anybody. I bought this product from my own pocket. It was recommended by another hobbyist. I have to say, this little guy has made all of the difference. What is it? Well, it's a pin vise, but it's a little electrical one. Comes with some little drills, as you would expect. So you can take your normal drills in here. They do have to be a certain diameter. This is the only downside to this product. So the chuck is plastic. So at some point this will die. Now, I got a really good deal on Amazon. I'll put a link below. It's not an affiliate link, but I paid £40 for this Wow Stick. And this is an original one. It's not one of the cheaper copies because I had heard bad things about those. Now, it's single speed, but I have put it through its paces. I'll put some footage over the top of this of me using it. And I've drilled through resin, plastic, into wood. And the precision of it compared to a standard pin vise is fantastic. Now, the difference between this, obviously, and a standard pin vise is that this is electric, so you don't have to drill by hand. The pros and cons of this is very accurate for what it is, but it is a single speed. It's quite high torque. Now, with the pin vise, you do have ultimate control. You can go as slow or as fast, indeed, as you need to in the specific circumstances that you're working within. There is absolute control there. With this, however, you've got to go at what it dictates it wants to do. That's it. There is no variation in there. But when here you say, what about a Dremel? Well, yeah, you can use a Dremel. The downside to that, and I do have a Dremel, is that it's quite clunky to hold. You can have one of those flexible adapters that goes into the end of it, and you do have more control there. But still, from my experience, it's not quite as precise as either a manual pin vise or, in fact, the Wow Stick. So it comes as no surprise then from the praise I'm giving this thing that I think it's pretty good. And I do. Do you need one? Absolutely not. The reason I got this was, yes, it was a good deal that I found on Amazon at the time, and it came recommended by a friend, but I had a lot of pinning to do for my Slaves to Darkness army. And to be honest, I'm getting a little bit older. I'm starting to get arthritis in my hands. And this was basically to save me pain, physical pain, I mean, not the pain of doing something so repetitive. But it has made a huge difference. The battery lasts quite a while on it. I've only charged it, I think, 3 times, and I've used it a considerable amount. So would I suggest you spend 40 quid on one of these? Well, if you've got the spare money and you do a lot of building, converting, not just painting, then perhaps it's worth the investment. To be absolutely honest, I do think it's a good product. I've heard negative things about the cheaper versions of it, so perhaps steer away from those and look for a deal coming up on Amazon one of the various times when they're selling things on offer all of the time. If you can pick one up for, say, £35–40, great. Do grab one. Perhaps it's a good compromise to yet another model that will likely go, if you're anything like me, onto your consistently growing pile of shame. Certainly if you're into the the hobbying side of the hobby a little bit more than just the gaming and the painting. It seems like a really good tool. Being able to get it into places where you might not necessarily be able to get the Dremel or the pin vise very easily, and certainly get the pressure on it, makes it appealing. The only downside is the placement of the button is quite far towards the front of it, so it does make it quite difficult if you are trying to get your hand into somewhere that's quite a constricted area. What would be nice to see on the version 2 perhaps is multiple start points. So one up here, perhaps one in the middle, one there. And that would be a really nice quality of life addition to a version 2. But overall, I think this is a reasonable hobby product. Comes in a nice little case to keep it in. Keep that and your drill bits together. It would be nice if it came with a few more drill bits, certainly some of the finer ones. I think over time, likelihood is through wear and tear, one of them will break, and they are quite expensive to replace if you go with the Wowstick branded ones, and they are a non-standard diameter. So some of the aftermarket ones that you might be able to put in a pin vise with a variable grip size, that might be something that you need to consider if you are a little bit heavy-handed and you do break the drills a lot. I'm quite careful. I haven't managed to damage any of these, and I've drilled almost 100 resin bases with them, and they're fine. So, yeah, I think overall this is a 7.5, 8 out of 10, depending on the project you're using it on and how often. For me at the moment is definitely an 8 to 9 out of 10. Certainly, if you can get it for that sweet spot of £35, definite purchase. That's it for this one, guys. Let me know what you saw. If this video was useful for you, please do leave me a like. If you're not already subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you next time. And I don't know what I'm going to do next time. Yeah, I'll keep you guessing. Till next time, guys. See ya.